Normally we stop all vehicles at the gate and don't allow access. To our right will be the security offices where our security managers stay. On the left we have our engineering office. So then we put on our hard hats and we head inside.
Never in his dreams did this engineer from the far west see himself standing upon one of the richest oil deposits in the world to lend a helping hand to the development of a supergiant field that has long been neglected since its discovery in the 70s of the last century. But thanks to the licensing contracts granted by the Iraqi Ministry of Oil to international oil conglomerates to kick the start of the development of the country's giant oil fields, Shin found himself among the first arrivals to Iraq to conduct field inspections and evaluate production at the West Kurna Phase 1 field, which was awarded to ExxonMobil Corporation in late 2009.
Basically, we arrived November 21st of 2009. I remember the day very well. We landed at the Basra airport. At that time, we were staying at the Basra airport. That was the only place where we could find accommodations. So we would stay at the Basra airport, and then we would drive each day to the West Kurna 1 field. Our very first trip, we were to meet with the SOC. We met with Mr. Kareem and a few of the managers at the SOC headquarters, and we were going to measure production to get the initial production rate from West Kurna 1. That was our first goal. We were here for about 2 weeks. Everyone was very friendly, very helpful. We got to go to each of the DS stations. We got to meet with all the employees.
غرب قرن من الحقول العملاقة التابعة لشركة نفط الجنوب، وكما تعلمون الشركة المتعاقدة على هذا الحقل هي شركة أكسن موبيل. الجروب الأول، المجموعة الأولى التي زارت الحقل في نهاية عام 2009، وكان من ضمن الجروب سيد شين، هو مسؤول المدير العمليات. فكان نشط متحرك بين 3 محطات. حددنا الخط الشروع للإنتاج للحقل في حينه مع اللجنة المشكلة من شركة نفط الجنوب.
The political and economic ramifications of war and the decade-long economic sanctions imposed on Iraq have taken their toll on the Iraqi oil sector. As a result, Iraqi national oil companies have fallen years behind their international counterparts. This, together with a lack of funding to maintain these giant fields, have forced the Ministry of Oil and the South Oil Company to open the door to licensing rounds.
ارتأت الدولة بعد سقوط النظام، وكان عليها ضغط كبير حقيقة. دولة لا تملك البنية التحتية، دولة لا تملك المقومات الرئيسية كدولة عصرية، كانت تحتاج ميزانيات كبيرة لاستئناف وبناء البنية التحتية للبلد. كانت يجب أن تتجه نحو تطوير حقولها، وخصوصا كان النفط تقريبا يشكل العصب الرئيسي في بلد مثل العراق في ظل السياسات السابقة أدت إلى تدهور الزراعة، تدهور الموانئ، تدهور البنية التحتية للبلد، ما أجبر الدولة على أن تدخل في هذا المشروع الكبير.
In fact, between 2009 and 2010, the Iraqi Ministry of Oil entered into long-term service agreements with numerous international oil companies to secure the development of its giant oil fields in Basra. They include British Petroleum plc, the Rumaila field operator, Italy's Eni Spa, the Zubair field operator, Royal Dutch Shell plc, the Majnoon field operator, Russia's OAO, Lukoil Holdings, the West Gurna Phase 2 field operator, ExxonMobil Corporation, the West Gurna Phase 1 field operator.
الصناعة النفطية وعلى ضوء التجارب اللي قامت بها سواء دول الخليج أو الدول اللي تملك خزين نفطي، لم توجد دولة استطاعت أن تطور حقولها بالجهد الذاتي، لأن الشركات العالمية سواء مثل شركة إكسون موبيل، شركة بتروناس، إيني، بي الشركات الأخرى وشركات الخدمات العالمية يجب أن تتواجد لما تملك من تكنولوجيا، لما تملك من تقنيات حديثة، لما تملك من أفق في تحليل المعلومات في الدراسات سواء الجيولوجية والجيوفيزيائية وأمور المسح الزلزالي.
The massive oil reserves of the West Gurna oil field, estimated at more than 60 billion barrels, and the vast swath of land it occupies have compelled the Iraqi Ministry of Oil to divide its operation into two phases, namely Phase 1 and Phase 2, each contracted to an international oil company through licensing rounds awarded by the ministry to facilitate the development process.
حقل غرب القرنة وبسبب هذا الامتداد التكويني الذي يشغله، ارتأت وزارة النفط أن يكون على عقدين، عقد غرب القرنة 1 وعقد غرب القرنة 2، اللي حاليا أحيلت عقد غرب القرنة 1 أحيل إلى شركة إكسون موبيل الأمريكية، وعقد غرب القرنة 2 إلى شركة لوك أويل الروسية.
The supergiant West Gurna field, deemed the second largest oil field in the world, was discovered back in 1973 by the Oil Exploration Company, a subsidiary of the Ministry of Oil. Despite endeavors by the Ministry of Oil, Russian development plans at the time were stalled by the Iraq-Iran war and the Iraqi invasion of Kuwait, which led to the exodus of foreign investors and earned Iraq its pariah status.
اكتشف هذا الحقل عن طريق شركة استكشاف النفطية، وهي شركة وطنية تملك كل الخبرات والإمكانات في ذلك الوقت. حاولت وزارة النفط في ذلك الوقت استغلال الحقل واستئناف الإنتاج والارتقاء به، ولكن بسبب السياسات الغير منضبطة للنظام السابق وإدخال الدولة في عجلة الحروب سواء الحرب الأولى والحرب الثانية، أدى إلى عدم استغلال الحقل وتطويره والتأخر في الاستفادة من مخزونات ذلك الحقل.
The close of the 20th century marked a turning point in the development of the field. Solely through the efforts of the staff at the South Oil Company, the Iraqi Ministry of Oil commenced production from the field in 1999, ramping up the output to 380,000 barrels per day in 2002. However, inadequate maintenance work on the oil wells, along with delays in water injection operations, saw production levels dwindle to 244,000 barrels per day in 2010.
في عام 1998 ارتأت شركة النفط الجنوب بإعادة أو استكمال تطوير هذا الحقل خلال الجهود الوطنية، حيث تم بناء المحطات السادسة والسابعة والثامنة والمباشرة بأول إنتاج من الحقل في سنة 1999. استمر الإنتاج بعدها إلى أن وصل إلى حدود 380 ألف برميل باليوم، هو أعلى معدل إنتاجي تم تحقيقه من خلال هذا الحقل من خلال المحطات السادسة والسابعة والثامنة، واستمر الإنتاج بالانخفاض نتيجة غياب العقود الإدارة المكمنية والمونيتورينج وغياب عقود الاستصلاح وحفر الآبار الجديدة وربط الآبار اللي أدت إلى انخفاض الإنتاج من هذا الحقل.
After several months of deliberations, ExxonMobil managed to secure a long-term contract towards the end of 2009, giving it the right to develop West Gurna Phase 1, the oil-producing part of the field with a baseline production of 244,000 barrels per day. The corporation will be paid service fees of $1.9 and $2 per extra barrel drilled from the Mushrif and Zubair reservoirs respectively, after deducting 35% as corporate income tax and 25% as the share of the state partner.
The West Gurna 1 contract, the effective date of that contract was March of 2010. About 1 year later, in March of 2011, we formed the Field Operating Division for West Gurna 1. And at that time, we jointly formed, with people from B.O.C. and from ExxonMobil, we jointly formed the Field Operating Division. We have about 125 persons from ExxonMobil in the Field Operating Division, and we have about 1,200 or 1,300 SOC employees in the FOD as well.
Notwithstanding the 3 existing facilities at the field, ExxonMobil has initiated a production optimization program that includes rehabilitating crude treatment and degassing plants, reviving old wells and drilling new ones, installing flow lines and trunk lines to ease manifold bottlenecks, introducing new water injection technologies to maintain reservoir pressure, the optimization program, implemented by ExxonMobil in tandem with the South Oil Company, began with the rehabilitation of the 3 existing degassing stations, DS6, DS7, and DS8. As a result, the stations can now operate well above their design capacity, processing up to 80,000 barrels per day, as opposed to a design throughput of 50,000 barrels of crude per day at each production bank.
الإنجازات اللي أنجزت في عهد شركة ExxonMobil، أجرينا تحديث للمنشآت السطحية الموجودة في المحطات 3، شغلنا كل منظومات السيطرة، شغلنا صمامات ESDV الغلق الاضطراري، أجرينا عملية تحديث لتصميم كل ضفة إنتاج في كل محطة. اللي التصميم اللي هو مثبت في شركة نفط الجنوب هو 50,000 برميل باليوم لكل ضفة، ولكن بعد التحديث لمنظومات السيطرة وربط عدادات اللي على المرحلة الأخيرة لكل ضفة، حصلنا على طاقة تصميمية لكل ضفة من 80 إلى 85 ألف برميل باليوم.
There's many factors involved in increasing the production, and many teams were involved in accomplishing this. The first, we began drilling wells with our drilling department and utilizing the IDC, the Iraqi Drilling Company. And then we also started doing with our well work team. Mr. Arab and Mr. Lawrence have done a fantastic job. We've worked on several hundred wells, adding new perforations, acidizing, completing new wells, and that has helped to increase the production. After the drilling and the well work, then of course we had the FOD project team, and there we had Mr. Cody and his team laying many miles, many kilometers of transfer lines and flow lines to bring the oil from the field to the flow tanks. An incredible effort, laid several hundred kilometers of line, and the effort's still continuing today.
In addition, the operation entity at West Gorna Phase 1 has carried out more than 1,200 renovation and improvement projects to recover old oil wells, which exceed 350 in number. So far, the work has brought more than 60 abandoned wells back to life. It has also drilled more than 47 new oil-producing wells in the Mushrif and Zubair reservoirs, the latter being one of the most undeveloped in the field.
تم إجراء أكثر من 1200 عملية استصلاح مختلفة للآبار اللي كانت أصلاً موجودة سواء منتجة أو غير منتجة، حيث تم إضافة أكثر من 60 بئر محفورة سابقاً، لكن لم يتم استخدامها بسبب عدم إمكانية استخدام التكنولوجيا الحديثة قبل لجوءنا إلى دورات التراخيص. هذه أضافت بحدود أكثر من 70 إلى 80 ألف برميل باليوم أيضاً كطاقات إنتاجية.
The operators of the West Gorna field have so far laid more than 320 kilometers of flow lines, linked new oil wells, and installed more than 60 kilometers of trunk lines, which have eased manifold bottlenecks, helped separate different crude compositions, and increased output.
مد أنابيب جريان بحدود 320 كيلومتر طول أنابيب تم مدها خلال الحقل، من خلال مد أنابيب ناقلة بحدود أكثر من 60 كيلومتر، من خلال حفر 47 بئر إنتاجية جديدة اللي ضافت كميات إضافية إلى الحقل، خصوصاً أنه جزء من هذه الآبار حفرت في مكمن الزبير إضافة إلى الآبار الأخرى في مكمن المشرف. أيضاً إذا نلاحظ أنه تم حفر الكثير من الآبار المائلة اللي في خصوصاً في شمال الحقل حتى نتفادى لإنتاج النفط اللي يكون تحت مدينة المدينة والقرنة.
We did a number of things. We have drilled to date about 50 wells in the field, new wells, including Mishrif wells and Zubair wells. In addition, we have worked over or revitalized, stimulated about 200 wells in the field, existing wells in the field. And we have plans to continue this program of well work well into the future. We saw a great deal of opportunity to optimize the existing facilities in the fields to get more production from the existing equipment that already was out there. It was being underutilized. There were bottlenecks, as you know. So we made modifications to the flow lines on the surface. We made modifications to the choke settings on the individual wells.
Surveys conducted upon the discovery of the field indicated that 2 years from the onset of production, water injection should be initiated to sustain the reservoir pressure. But this never materialized, not until ExxonMobil clinched the contract. It was therefore imperative to outsource short-term contracts to supply ample amounts of water to the field.
من المعروف حسب الدراسة الروسية القديمة أنه كان المفروض أنه يتم المباشرة بحقن الماء بعد أن المباشرة بإنتاج النفط بسنتين، إلا أنه نشوف أنه تمت المباشرة بالإنتاج من عام 1999 ولغاية 2010 لم يتم المباشرة بحقن الماء لصيانة الضغط المكمني. هذا سبب لنا مشكلة رئيسية بانخفاض الضغط المكمني وبالتالي إلى توقف العديد من الآبار عن الإنتاج.
Moreover, ExxonMobil has signed a contract with an Italian firm to build a $300 million water injection project in the West Gorna field, with the capacity to inject 300,000 barrels of water daily. The project will be delivered in 4 phases, the first of which expected to be operational in 2014, and can be upgraded to inject up to 500,000 barrels of water daily.
We began to inject water more than a year or so ago for the first time. And we instituted a program of water injection, drawing water from existing from aquifers that lie beneath the surface, saline aquifers. And we also drew water from the surface water in the Third River to inject into the field. So all of these things contributed to the production increase. But I'd say primarily the increases were the result of a very big program in well work and workovers, as well as optimization of the surface facilities and flow lines to accommodate more production.
تم المباشرة بتوقيع عقود آنية مع شركة وذرفورد لتزويدنا ب75,000 برميل مي لأغراض حقنه داخل الآبار. أيضا عندنا مشروع آخر هو إنتاج الماء من طبقة الدمام وإعادة حقنها في مكمن المشرف. أيضا هذه حاليا جاي ننتج بحدود 25 إلى 30 ألف برميل. تم توقيع عقد بحدود حوالي 300 مليون دولار مع شركة سايبم على 4 مراحل لتجهيز الحقل بحدود 300 ألف برميل ماء من المصب العام. وسوف باشرت هذه الشركة بالأعمال، ومن المؤمل في بداية عام 2014 بالمباشرة بحقن أول كميات من هذا المشروع. أيضا هذا المشروع قابل لزيادة الكباسيتي مال طاقته الإنتاجية للماء إلى 500 ألف برميل.
Through its operation entity at West Gorna Phase 1, ExxonMobil has managed to boost output to 500,000 barrels per day, up from its baseline of 244,000 barrels per day. The operator expects to increase production to 600,000 barrels per day by the end of this year.
غرب القرنة واحد باشرت به شركة اكسن موبل ب 244 ألف برميل. حاليا احنا اليوم على مشارف تجاوزنا ال 500 ألف برميل. المردودات المالية كبيرة. البنى التحتية في الحقل بدأت بالتطور، تغيير القديم أو تطويره، بناء بنى تحتية في الحقل جديدة. هذا كله لولا هذا العقد لكانت الخطوات بطيئة.
650,000 barrels per day, yes. So the plan for that is some additional drill wells. We currently have 3 drilling rigs working to drill new wells, as well as the well work group. As I mentioned before, they're doing recompletions, adding perforations, acidizing, increasing the production. We have the FOD project group that are laying transfer lines, and that'll bring the oil into the station. At the station, we're adding additional tanks, and we're adding additional equipment, desalter equipment, so that we can remove the salt and put good oil down to the tank, to the port for Tuba. The goal is 650,000 by year end.
In 2014, we see production increasing from 600,000 barrels a day to gradually over the course of the coming years to upwards of 1 million barrels a day. And we'll be doing that through a program of large-scale investments in new storage tanks, in new oil trains, and in new desalter capacity, as well as new flow lines and gathering system equipment. So a very large program of investment for the coming 5 years or so, in fact, until we reach, when we expect to reach a production peak in the late teens or about 2020.
It is hoped that within the near future, the giant West Ghurna field will turn into one of the largest oil-producing fields in Iraq and help shore up the national economy for many years to come.
No, personally, it's with great pride to be here. Never dreamed I would be standing in Iraq. Oh, it's an incredible opportunity. It brings me a lot of great pride. The field is so huge. The people in Iraq have all been, they're so wonderful. And what really helps me is the people in Iraq, they think about their country first. They think about what we can do to make Iraq better. Not personally, I love Iraq. I wish to stay here many years.